Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief for Friday, Friday, July the 23rd. Bit of a roller coaster night on the Dow last night. Yesterday we were off, today we're up. Quite a positive night. That's quite a positive night for equities across the board. That's equities, obviously, equities are not only in the US, but obviously in Europe as well. Interesting night for the US dollar, relatively mixed, but against the Aussie, very firm. And obviously we saw some very good strong moves in some of the commodities. And we'll run through some of those in a sec. Let's have a quick round as to what's happened. What happened basically, there we want. Let's grab with that one. What happened obviously in the markets, just a quick wrap up. And let's go to here, and that's where we want stocks. Have a quick look here. And you can see that obviously the US are quite firm indeed. Dow Jones up 1.99%, very strong, 10,322. The S&P up 24. Having a look at around the globe, let's have a look at the overview here, a little bit better. Looking at the FTSE, FTSE there very strong, up 1.9%. Stoke was up 2.83%. The CAC up 3%. The DAC up 2.53%, so quite strong there. Local market, local SPY actually closed up 64 there, as you can see, at 4,412. So in a nutshell, I think quite solid in terms of the performance there. Just having a look at, let's have a look at some of the other markets there, and just moving ahead, and let's move on to the trader, so we can see a few things that are happening there. On the dollar index, obviously that's one we do keep an eye on there. Dollar, as you can see, has been quite firm, quite weak, and we're just bumming around those areas at the lower end. So if, in fact, it does break lower there, that's the start of a trend. As a result of that, we saw, obviously, that Aussie 89.30, quite a solid move there, very strong. Just keep an eye on that differential between the Aussie and the US, because it's certainly in favour of the Aussie. A breakthrough there. We did have a position in there. We had a stop there in at 88.70. That was triggered. I'm quite happy for that to be triggered. And only that resumption of dollar strength will occur if we break back through that old resistance, which is now new-term support. Have a look at the euro. Euro there, 128.85. As you can see, there's a bit of strength there on that, and that's purely as a result of the weaker dollar. And there's also, you can see some of our commodities there. Gold had a strong move, 11.93. Did test that 1,200. Very interesting for gold at the moment. I'm not quite sure which way. We are still long. We're long from that 12.14. We closed out a summer position on a break through that 11.80, 11.85. We've still got some on, and I think that's the right way to go because the market is quite undecided. Having a look at crude. Crude market very strong last night, right on that resistance. 80 is the key, 80 is the target. We broke through that, obviously. I haven't broken through it yet, but as you can see, we've got that resistance right on the top there. So let's see whether or not we can move it and shake it. That is on the back of relatively good numbers in the States and the good optimism creeping in, certainly after Bernanke had his few words the other day about concern, but the market seems to have swung around quite aggressively on the back of that. Just having a look at the local market, and that should open up pretty high today. And if that doesn't come on in a sec, we might move on to some of the other commodities. All right, just stay with us there. It's slowly coming up. Local market should get some benefit out of the Dow, moving up quite nicely last night. And as you can see there, I'd probably expect it to trade upwards and spend a bit of time up around 4,430 today. A breakthrough 4,450, that sets its tone to check to the top side. Have a look at the big picture, because this is what we've been talking about. The big picture in my mind suggests the range is the top at 5,000, the bottom's down here at 4,150. And if we take out that 4,450, then I think it's happy days for the equity market. So I think we actually trade back into the range and assault that 4,600 level. So quite comfortable on the back of that. Let's have a look at some of the other softs which we've looked at. One of them I wanted to actually copper. Copper's looking quite good. We are seeing inventory draws continuing in the copper market, and that is encouraging. There it is there, 316. It's something we have been talking about for some time. This consolidation pattern looks like it's broken out, and onwards and upwards, I think, for copper, given the optimism that we certainly have out there at the moment. Looking at some of the softs, wheat, corn, soybeans, but also sugar. Sugar's had a very good strong run, 18.34. We are long sugar at the moment, quite happy about that. And as you can see, if we take out this 18.30, 18.50 level, onwards and upwards. But keep your stops in there because that's you'd have to put your stops in there below the low of last night. One of the other things which we're focused on, we've issued quite a lot of warrants and a lot of demand for warrants at the moment, particularly for rice. And I want everyone to have a quick look at this, right? And look at the chart too. We're at 10.10 at the moment. Look at that chart there. Now, it does look better bid. We're not out of the waters in terms of an aggressive move on the top side, but just have a look at this weekly chart because the weekly chart in itself suggests that we're getting very close to a low somewhere. So the fundamental pictures are starting to look good for it. So I'm a little bit more aggressive as to what can occur to rice at the moment. You can trade it via futures or warrants. We're actually long the warrants at the moment, looking for that price appreciation to occur. It might not happen overnight, but we're certainly quite bullish of the commodity at the moment. In terms of economic calendars coming out tonight, what have we got? There's not a lot, though. That's the most important one. We've got the IFO index out of Germany, the business climate, which will be interesting, GDP in the UK, CPI in Canada, but nothing in the States. It's the Baker Hughes US rig count, so pretty quiet on that front. Well, that's about it from us today, I think, so it should be quite aggressive tonight. But let's have a look at some of those commodities. We're long small gold, we're out of our Aussie, we're long soybeans, we're long rice, and of course we're long sugar as well. So a bit of an even week really in terms of profit and loss because we lost a little bit on gold and Aussie and probably a negative week. But overall, I think if anything we're making good ground back in some of those other trades. So I'm quite comfortable about that. But have a good day and we'll certainly talk to you tomorrow.